If you want to see me create this look using the Elizabeth Arden Holiday Blockbuster set for 2020, then stick around. Hi there, it's Ilan. Welcome or welcome back to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I am going to, as I teased at the beginning of the video, a fourth look with the Elizabeth Arden set. I have the face and the two eyeshadow palettes here, and I have the brushes both from this year and from last year, the makeup brushes. Other brushes came with the kit, i.e. a face brush, but these are the ones I'm going to use today. And I do already have some makeup on my face, as you can tell. I have my base product, I have my eyebrows done, and they're looking very prominent because I got nothing else on the face. I have my cheek product on. I have a mixture of Lancome and Elizabeth Arden because the face palette for Elizabeth Arden is only highlighters. So I used a blush and a bronzer from the Lancome set. So these are the highlighters from Elizabeth Arden, and I used this one, which I thought was going to go well with the colors I'm intending to use for the eye look. And let me just show you the colors I used in the Lancome set. So I used the bronzer right here and the blush right here. So that's it. I think you're pretty much up to speed. Anything else that I have on my face, you can find in the description box or in a link to another video that gives you all the information in the description box. So you can find it if you're looking for it. But as far as application today, most of the products you're going to see me apply. So not a big deal. Okay, let's take a look at the palettes. If you haven't seen the other videos, I've got quite a few videos on Elizabeth Arden Blockbuster set for 2020. I am going to be using this palette mostly because I want to go after this one and the pink. Yeah, right there. It washes it out in the viewfinder, but it is very, very pink. And so I want to use those two prominently. But I also want to go into the Day palette, which is also 8 shadows. And I want to go in and start off with this one and probably use this one on the brow bone. So let's start off with the Neutrals palette or the Day palette, and then we'll move into the Evening palette or the more colorful palette, at least in my estimation. And I really want to use mostly the brushes that Elizabeth Arden has included in the kits. So I'm going to go with the fluffiest one right now, which is kind of an angled brush, but it's the biggest one of the eyeshadow brushes, and I think it's going to do a good job in the crease. It's become a thing. I always seem to have an eyelash on my face when I start filming. I don't know why. All right, as I said, I've got this brush, and I'm going to go into this color right here. And just going to put a base on, and I have on my eye, you can tell that you can't see any veins or anything, I have used a primer, which is the NYX Eyeshadow Base 3, and I also put on a mixture of Wheat and Desert from the Smashbox Matte Exposure, which is my Pan That palette this year, and it's perfect to set a primer, and it's what I have pretty much as a base for every look that I do. Okay, you're completely filled in at this point, so I'm going to go in with that second shadow, which is a beige. This is a very stiff brush, I have to say. Not as fluffy as the crease brushes I'm used to using. But that will come in handy in a bit. Okay, and I'm going to do one eye and do the other eye off camera, because I think that once you see one eye, you have the gist of it, and I don't need to, take your time to show you the second one. All right, I don't really see very much difference between the two eyes, so that's just a nice start to the look. It's not really going to impact, apparently, the other colors I'm going to use, so that's okay. And I'm going to use it also on the outer lower lid, just for completeness. Now, did I? No, okay. I thought I hit myself with the beige in the corner there, but no, that's okay. All right, so that is my first shadow, and we're going to switch palettes. Oh, no, you know what? Let's do the brow bone right away. I might go back into this one, but we can at least put a little bit of a brow bone color right off the hop, and I'm going to use one of last year's brushes, this one here, to hopefully, it's more like a concealer brush, but let's just see how it does on the brow bone. And it's just a very, very, very light cream color. Okay, I'm going to use the final brush that is clean here, and I have some powder from when I did my eyebrows. I'm using one of the eyeshadows in the Smashbox Matte Exposure, which is why they're so prominent. It's a dark brown. And I try to go light with it, except for the outer brow, and it's a little heavy today, but whatever. It's just us, it's fine. Okay, you won't report me to the brow police, I'm sure. Oh, and I did have, by the way, on my eye upper waterline, the Smoky Black from Elizabeth Arden, the kit from last year, is on my upper waterline. Ready to go in with this brush again, and this time I'm going to go into the burgundy. Now I have used the burgundy once already in a previous look, but what I want to do is I want to use it with that pink that I showed you earlier. And it was actually the look I wanted to do first off, but I felt like it was a cop-out, or would feel like a cop-out, because a light pink like that is pretty easy to use on the inner to center lid, and I really wanted to take these eyeshadows for a real test drive. And when I consider a real test drive, I want to use the colors in the palette that I think are going to be a catastrophe. That's just how I roll. Let's get the worst out of the way, see what happens, and then we can have some fun and play. And as it turns out, it was fine. The looks I've done so far have all been fine. I'm getting a little happy with that burgundy. Whew. It's pretty though, isn't it? Oh. Can't help looking in the viewfinder. It's looking good. Unless the viewfinder's lying to me. No, it's not. And it is an angled brush, which I really like, and I'm going to take some shadow on only one side of the angled brush and bring it down on the outer lower lid. Let's make sure I'm going the right way. Yes. I so often used to put it on the wrong side of the brush and have to start over, meaning wiping off the brush and putting it on the proper side, luckily usually before I started applying it. And just tying the work from upper to lower. Gosh, this is easy. This is not a bad brush. The one that came in the kit last year, not a bad brush. And the one from this year is a lot cheaper. It is not as good a quality as what was in the set last year, which is unfortunate. But it has brushes. The other two kits I've been testing, the Estee Lauder and the Lancôme, do not have brushes. So that is oh, no, actually, no, that's not true. The Lancôme has a double-sided brush. None of them have just standalone brushes like this. And I'm not huge on double-ended brushes. I'll use them, but I'm always worried about damaging them because I put them in my brush container. Unless they come with a case, like one of my double-ended brushes is a KVD Vegan Beauty brush, I have no problem. I put it back in the case. I'm not worried about messing it up. But when it doesn't come with a case, it's not the best. I'm talking way too much. Okay, I think we're good. I'm probably going to go back on the brow bone later, but I think that the blending is reasonable. Yeah, okay. And I want to go in with the pink. And the pink is another shimmer color. So this is shimmer, this is also shimmer, and I'm going to go in with this one. And I'm going to try to use the brush that came with this year's kit to apply the pink. Now it's a little bit tricky because it's a pretty fluffy brush. It's not very precision. Normally I would use my multitasker brush from Smashbox or another small brush to just get to the inner corner. But we are just going to see how we can make this work. So I'm going to start off a little bit further out and then work my way in. It's starting to look good already. I'm probably going to end up using my finger just to intensify the color. It's kind of similar to wetting the brush. It does the same thing. I'll probably actually do the deep burgundy and that color with the finger. So let's just do that right now. Okay, so I've got some on my finger and I'm just going to press. Oh yeah, I'm going to press on the outer lid. Take care of that one first. I'm going to go in again just for good measure. I love doing this. And I know I make some people cringe. I'm sorry. At least I tell you what I'm about to do. All right, so again, and just on the very, very outer lower lid. Just basically where I put the shadow. Oh gosh, look at how that intensified. Look at that color, right? Okay, that makes me really happy. Okay, now we're going to go into that pink. And I think I'm going to use, for the very, very inner lid, I'm going to use my pinky, just because I can get further in despite my nail. Yeah, that is looking so pretty. By the way, my lipstick is Mulberry from, or Mulberry, depending where you live. And I really love this color. I have worn it many times, even when it wasn't an Elizabeth Arden video, so I'm quite partial to it. Look at that combo. That is really pretty, really pretty. And normally I don't want to do the light color on the lower lash line, but I think it's going to look pretty good. So let's do that then. So I just wiped the brush off, even though I had pink on it, because I want to put it only on the one side of the brush and have some precision to it by selecting exactly where on the brush I put some eyeshadow. Going right along the lash line, because some is going to go a little bit lower anyway. I don't have to try to get it to go lower, it will just do it just by the size of the brush. Okay, I really, really like this. It's very cute. It's pretty, it's light, it's fetching. I really think it's fetching. So let's just go back to the brow bone like I said I would at the end. And I'm going to go back in with the same brush as I had before. And I don't think these have names. No, they just say Elizabeth Arden on them. And, oh, wrong palette. Going back into the Day palette to the same color here. Can you see it? Yeah, the same kind of cream color that I had before. And is that the color I want to use? Yeah, the other one's a bit too yellow, so let's keep on with the cream color. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let me just do the eyeshadow on the other side, and then we will put on the finishing touches together. Both eyes are now done, and I did also reapply the Smoky Black from Elizabeth Arden from last year's kit. Just going to give you a swatch here. And I have, while I was off camera, selected what I'm going to have or use to finish the look. And I think what I'm going to do is use a couple of products from Lise Watier. I have another look coming from this brand sooner than later. Just watch out for it. I've been challenged to use the bluish green in that kit and this year's holiday palette, and I'll be doing that sooner than later. In the meantime, I am going to use two products from that brand, Lise Watier. I have the Feline or Feline liquid liner, and also the Prune Intense, which is Intense Plum. It is a liner that I quite like, a color that I think is going to go really well with the burgundy that I have on. Just doing a couple of swatches for you. Here's the tip, by the way, of the Feline or Feline marker. It is a felt tip, and that is what I'm going to use to finish up the look. along with the couple of Lancome mascara, eyelash products. This is the primer, this is the mascara. I'm going to use that as a combo because the Elizabeth Arden mascara, which is the Grand Entrance, I can't use. It pokes me in the eye. And no, that's not a euphemism. Okay, just using one of the palettes that I used today. And I think I'm going to do the lower lash line liner first. So let's do that. And I didn't sharpen it, but it looks like there's quite a bit of product. I'm just going to target my lower waterline. And just because of the size of the liner, it's going to end up on my lashes as well. Yeah, that's finishing that up really nicely. I got a comment about something like, it never ceases to amaze me what liner and mascara does to finish a look. Heck yeah, it makes a big difference. Very big difference. It's like it delineates the sections of the eye and eyelid all the way to the brow, depending what you're using. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. They look relatively even. Just a bit more here. Okay, yeah, and especially because I used such a light color, that light pink shimmer on the lower inner third. If I did not have a liner, I would look washed out. So this is, it's a good thing. Now for the Félin eyeliner, it's that I do have a little bit of trouble with it because it is so long and big. As Angelica would say, that's what she said. I can't resist. I laugh every time she says that. Okay. Okay, well, maybe I'm getting better at it. And I spoke too soon. Can't talk and do eyeliner at the same time, apparently. Not with this one, anyway. It's too bad. The last two eyeliners that I have purchased, liquid liners, or felt tip, the one from Estee Lauder and this one from Nizuetier, they're just hard to use. And I have used quite a few liners over the years, and now I feel like a newbie. I don't feel like I can do anything fancy with these things. I'm just happy if I triumphantly do just a standard line. And it's just happened with these two. I don't remember liners giving me that much trouble. Yeah, I had trouble with the Clinique Pretty Easy, haha, liner, but I was using another one at the same time called Fierce Flicks by Ciate. I had no problem with the Fierce Flicks, but the Clinique was dispensed way too much product at the time anyway, and then it dried out on me. After working for a while, it was just the sweet spot, and then it started being too dry for application. You don't need to hear about all my liner drama. Okay, I think that's all right. Now we've got the liner, basic liner today. I'm going to go in with the Cils Booster XL from Lancome. If you're not sure about that, Cils, S-I-S, C-I-L-S, means lashes in French. If you're wondering what the heck it stands for, that's what it stands for. Okay, so here we go. This is a primer, hence the name Booster Extra Large. And it helps the Définicil get more volume on the lashes because Définicil, and the name says it, right? Definition, Définicil, defining lashes. You can define, and defining can be a little bit counter to volume. So pairing these two together, I think, is a good idea. Okay, and I'll do the other side right away as well. I wish I could use the Elizabeth Arden mascara. I really wish. I used it last year, and it poked my eyes so much I thought, you know, I just can't. I can't take the risk. It is my eyes. And I was poking myself in the eye every time I was using it. Just trying to get to the bottom of my lashes. I was poking myself in the eye. I can't. I just can't. No mascara is worth some sort of an eye injury. If you can use plastic wands, that's great. It's probably a great mascara for you to try and use. But for me, it's a no-go. And there are very, very few products I can't use. So that one was a real surprise to me. And maybe it's my mascara application. I always do the blink to apply method, and that might be what is causing me issues. And now this one is the mascara, the Définicil, and it does a decent job of applying the product on the lashes, but the Drama, its cousin, is the better one out of the two if you want volume. This one is more of a this one is more of a defining mascara, and I'm going to let that dry and then flake it off at the very end before I put on any setting spray. Okay, so there's one side. And because of the Cil Booster, I'm not going to do 2 coats because I find the primer does a good enough job without me going in a second time. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now let's see if I can flake that off without making a mess. Good old Q-tip to the rescue. Let's try that out. Okay, I'll do a little eye cleanup and then do some setting spray, and we'll talk about what I think of the look. The quick cleanup is done, and I have applied the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This one is hard to see on camera as well because it's white with colorful lettering. It's the Pride edition of this setting spray. Normally it's a black bottle with white lettering on it. And I really, really like it because it's a very, very fine, really, really very, very fine mister on this bottle, and it's a pleasure to use. I keep it in my rotation of setting sprays just because it's a delight, and it's pretty cost effective compared to other setting sprays. Some of my other go-tos, the MAC Fix Plus, the Cover FX Performance Setting Spray, and the All Nighter from Urban Decay. Those are other setting sprays that I like as well. And I'm opportunistic. I look for sales and buy when they're at a pretty good discount. Enough of a tangent there on setting sprays. I'm really, really liking the look. I think it turned out fantastic. It is great for a fourth look. This was the look that I was drawn to as a first impression with Elizabeth Arden, but like I said, I like to go with what I think are going to be the tougher colors, and based on the swatches, I really wanted to go in with that khaki first because I thought the swatch was terrible, and it turned out to be a great color as well. There were no duds in these couple of palettes. Let me show you those palettes again. And what a difference from the eyeshadows from last year. This is the neutrals. And I did want to do as well an all matte look. If you want to see an all matte look with this palette, let me know, because mattes are the ones that are more difficult to formulate usually than shimmers or metallics. And here is the other palette. I've basically used all of the shadows in this colorful palette and the majority of the shadows in the neutrals palette at this point. But definitely, if you have some combos that you are wondering about, let me know. Along with whether you want to see an all matte look, I would do that as well. I really like what Elizabeth Arden has done this year, because the last 2 years before, the 2018 and the 2019, they were brutal. This is on another level. I put them on the same level as the Lancôme shadows over the last 3 years. Elizabeth Arden has really made a big change in what they've included in their holiday set this year, and I could not be happier, because out of the 3 sets that I'm evaluating, which is Elizabeth Arden, Estee Lauder, and Lancôme, it is the most cost-effective set if all you're really looking for is makeup and you don't really care about skincare. Okay, so that is it. I could keep rambling. I will not do that to you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the look. I always love to hear what you have to say, your ideas and suggestions. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.